You know, it's opening morning here in Texas. Opening morning is always finding us when the Texas season opens up here at the Windlet Ranch, and we always have a lot of fun when we're up here. A lot of gossiping, a lot of lying, a lot of storytelling. Go play golf, and you know, a couple times. But for me, it really becomes more often than not about testing some new products. This trip, I'm going to be hunting with the new Smith Wesson 350 Legend handgun. I'm really intrigued by this handgun. You know, handgun hunting has been a passion of mine for a long time. The 460s, the 500s, the 44s, and a variety of other calibers that are in that lineup, all designed for handgun hunting. For 15 years, I've just kind of been enamored by them, and I hunt several times a year with handguns. This 350 Legend is going to be an intriguing and an interesting story to kind of watch unfold as we talk about it, how the handgun sets up, how it performs, talking about the ammunition, why it was developed. I mean, it's an X Frame handgun that is kind of falls in the same line as the 460 and the 500, but performs totally different. It's very pleasant to shoot, very flat shooting. You know, for medium-sized game, I think it's going to be pretty dynamite. Got after about 50, 60 yards, and he was kind of coming down the creek bank. I kind of felt pretty confident he was going to get inside 20, 30 yards. He got up there and got a little spook and took off down in that creek. I never saw him come back out of that creek. We'll have to see. He kind of comes back in. I mean, we hadn't been there 10 minutes. Yeah, we had a good morning. We didn't pull the trigger, but that's not always going to happen. You know, sometimes you're going to go hunting and not see a deer. Sometimes you're going to see 20 or 30, depending on where you're hunting. We did have a pretty good buck this morning, kind of come in by this rub that's out there, work his way down on the creek. I wanted him a little closer with open sights for me, and he just kind of got a little nervous and fittered off, and we didn't see anything else after that. Not sure whether we made too much noise getting in here, the deer didn't move. I mean, those are the questions you always have when you wrap up a morning hunt, or any hunt really. So we're gonna go back. Hopefully Clark has made us breakfast, some pancakes or some little smokies, or maybe some eggs, whatever it may be, and make a plan. But I'm sure we're coming back here this evening. This is a pretty good setup.
Wade is headed back out to the same Blackout X5S ground blind he hunted in this morning as part of this hunt here in Central Texas.
It's a very typical October in this part of Texas. We're kind of in the northern part of the hill country. It's probably 90 degrees, maybe 87 if we're lucky, which means it's about 105 inside the pop-up. But this is a perfect setup for later in the day as these shadows get all across this creek bottom right here. These deer should kind of filter out and around through this, up that ridge.
There's some acorns that God said falling over here. There's a big field they feed in. We've got some record crack wild berry blocks kind of out in front of us to try to stop them. And while it's hot, we're hunting. It's going to be fun. We've got the 350 Legend by Smith Wesson. It's a big X frame, heavy handgun, made under the same feeling of a 460 and the 500 in that X frame model. But this 350 Legend, nowhere near its recoil type feel, nowhere near the speed and the distance capabilities in the sense of what people think of a traditional handgun. But when you look at the 350 Legend, it packs a wallop. It's got a lot of great characteristics.
The Smith & Wesson 350 Legend fires the world's fastest straight-walled hunting cartridge with 20% less recoil than a .243 Winchester and 20% more penetration. The Smith & Wesson Model 350 is specifically designed for medium-sized game and whitetail hunting. You can learn more about the Smith & Wesson Model 350 by visiting smith-wesson.com.
Evercalm is something that is one of the three main scents that I like to use in the deer hunting lineup of products from Conquest Scents. From the Evercalm standpoint, I'll use a stink stick like what you see hanging up here a lot, or I'll use what looks like a deodorant bar and you can rub it on your feet. So regardless of how you play the scent control or the scent attracting game, Conquest Scents has a variety of products to help you find success. Visualize, think about what might happen, when to act. You know, if you're a bow hunter, draw when the deer goes behind that tree. You know, what you can get away with. There's just, you know, playing those scenarios out. It's like practicing in a lot of ways. I talk about that a lot. I mean, it's just what I do, what I've always done. And sometimes practice helps pay off. Sometimes we just screw it up. You just never know. See a deer, saw a lot of doves, or heard a lot of doves flying around, but that's about it. You know, that's going to happen in hunting. You're not always going to see stuff, so still got confidence in the spot, still feel good about it. We saw a good buck here this morning. We literally saw nothing once we got in the stand. We did jump 2 does when we were getting to the stand, but I mean, that was 5 o'clock, and you know, we hit magic hour, didn't see anything, so that just happened. So now we're going to bail on out of here. Clark's supposed to be cooking us a pretty good dinner tonight of some shrimp and french fries, and we'll go tell lies and give them a hard time because we saw no deer. It's their fault.
Well, it's day 2 of Wade's hunt here near San Saba, Texas. He's hunting with the new Smith & Wesson Model 350 revolver. The 350 stands for 350 Legend, a cartridge that Wade's using for the first time. While the last 2 sits have been slow when it comes to deer activity, we pick up the action as several deer have worked down into the creek bottom, from a nearby food plot to include the buck that was working along the creek bottom yesterday morning.
That's all me. I mean, how that goes down was pretty amazing. You know, there's a big field over here, and we're trying to get these deer coming out of this creek bottom, going to that field or coming from that field. And, you know, we had a parade of does come in, a couple small bucks, and they got out there and kind of milled around and got on some of the wild berry record rack blocks that we put out. I mean, he got out there at about 18 yards and started eating on that block, but he was facing right at me. I just don't like that shot unless I've really, you know, settled in and trying to get moved into position with all those does and that other little buck that were over here. They saw me, heard the gun cock. I moved at the wrong time. Rookie mistake. And a lot of the deer took off and went that way. Well, obviously that deer wants to bed back there, but he still wanted to get some more of that block, and he hung out up here and kind of milled around. He circled us out there. He gave me a couple of broadside shots at 50 to 60 yards. That stealth cam is right at 40 out there. And, you know, with a red dot or a scope, I'd probably take that shot with open sights in this 350 Legend that I don't have a ton of experience with. And I would have had to switch a little. I chose not to take the shot. I need to practice more at 50 and 60 yards with this gun to get more proficient with it on open sights to be able to, you know, in my opinion, take that shot. I had really confident in the 35 and the end range. I just wasn't confident that, you know, what I have done and what I've practiced with this gun put me in that situation. And I've done this long enough that I've made the mistakes of pushing those shots. I think I'll probably go down to the range and shoot some more at the 50-yard range. Understand my sight setup, understand what this 350 Legend is going to do, because that's a big part of this hunt. This is a cartridge I have no experience with. I've studied a lot on the ballistics and what it should do and what it shouldn't do, and I wasn't willing to risk that shot. What a cool encounter. You know, the deer, when he left, he went out the same spot he went out yesterday, same trail, same thing, raised his tail, waved at us, gave us a look on the hill, went up the hill. I can say this one's on me, and we'll go on down the road, and it might be personal now. We may have to figure out how to get that deer right there, because he's put on show for us. That was, if you like to deer hunt, that was a heck of an encounter.
Wade has encountered the same buck 2 other times now, but mistakes have cost the team a chance to get a shot so far. Will this time be different?
I mean, that was as good as it was going to be when he was settled in. As soon as I got that gun, it's like, whew. But when he turned broadside, I mean, that was 28 yards probably, I'm guessing. And I just don't think I settled in on the sights. And I mean, I saw him step. I knew he stepped right as I was, going through the deal. And I think I probably just shot right over his back based on how he acted. I mean, we'll give him a bit of time. And I mean, I don't think he's going to come back, but it's certainly, I've seen it happen. I mean, you can hindsight it 20/20 all day. Do they come back? Do they settle back in after the gun cock? I mean, but that's as good as it's going to get, 28 yards broadside. It just, in my mind, probably, I don't know, I mean, I just missed. We've had good morning hunts. We've seen that buck I ended up shooting at all 3 times. He's an older deer. I mean, you can see his ribs on him. He's, one that's gotten him feel is well past maturity. He's a 9-point. But he's a spooky son of a gun. He's been educated. Every time we move, the rustle of our clothes, the clack of our hands on the camera, me trying to move the gun into position, he's gotten spooky. And this time, and one other, I got the gun cocked, and I mean, it is so calm. He ran. But, I mean, he gave me a great shot, in my opinion, broadside and everything. I mean, I missed. Bottom line, I missed. I whiffed. But problem in my mind, I'm always trying to analyze this stuff. In my mind, right when I pulled the trigger, he's stepping, and I bet you I pulled my head off my side picture, and I just, we can't even see where the bullet hit anywhere. So I definitely didn't shoot low because we just seen the dirt. And I mean, that bullet probably hit that creek bank 200 yards away over there. But he run up that hill. Maybe we'll get a chance to get back on that deer at another time. But it's been fun hunting with the 350 Legend. We're going to hunt with it some more this year. But as of today, the deer won.
Well, that'll do it for this episode. We'll see you next time.